What's up guys, it's Zeps here. Now, before I get into the video, I would just like to thank you all for clicking onto the video. Now, for the topic, as you can obviously tell by the thumbnail and the title, today will be a discussion on the DC Cinematic Universe. Okay, so I'm a pretty big comic book fan. I first started off with comic book movies, but then later started reading the comics. Now, I'm going to get this out of the way, but yes, I am a huge DC fanboy. I love Marvel, and I love their movies, but I have never been that interested to read Marvel comics. On the other hand, I have read a lot of DC comics, and I really enjoy DC's comics. So let's look at what DC has done. They've come out with games, and they're good games too. They have multiple TV shows, and the only one I kinda really enjoy is The Flash, but I also feel like that show is not really good. But we are here to discuss DC Cinematic Universe, right? Yes, that's right. So, as you all know, DC is busy having a real hard time with their movies. I want to explain why I feel that they're falling flat. So DC is pretty dark, right? It is not very light and funny, but I do enjoy the seriousness in these movies, and I feel they are not a negative contributor. I'm going to use Dawn of Justice as an example because I feel that Suicide Squad suffered similar reasons. So, do any of you guys remember how long we've waited for this movie to come out? Pretty long, hey? I wasn't even that big of a fan about this stuff when I heard about this movie coming out. So, with all this time, and with all this hype for this movie, it built a huge bar for expectations. So this movie literally had to be perfect. Okay, well, not really, but you get my point. So in Dawn of Justice, we have Batman versus Superman. Two of the most iconic superheroes of all time. Like, no one comes close. Absolutely no one. So we would have to nail these two characters to make the fans happy. Which they totally did. Except for, Superman and Lex Luthor. But Batman was awesome, right? Now, I was not that fond of Superman. He was too depressing and too bland, which does not do his character justice. Superman is meant to have a light personality full of pride and hope, but not in this movie. Now, I don't even want to talk about this awkward mix of the Joker and Lex Luthor character. I mean, at least Superman could feel like Superman at times, but my god, Lex Luthor was horrible. If you did not tell me he was portraying Lex Luthor, I would have never known. Now that I've gone over some of the characters that I felt were bad to me, I want to talk about the actual story and pacing of the movie. Now, Dawn of Justice has a lot of content, a shit ton of content. There is about 5 stories packed into this one movie, which makes the pace of the movie very rushed and very awkward. It's absolutely ludicrous to think that they could put this all into one movie. Now that I got that out of the way, let's talk about the plot.
One eternity later.
Wait, where the fuck is the plot? Nah, but all jokes aside, the story felt very hollow. It was missing structure and a foundation. There is so much confusion and random scenes that have nothing to do with the plot, which made the fight between Batman and Superman feel very forced. And Lex Luthor's plan to make this fight happen is way too damn complicated. I mean, go rewatch the movie and see for yourself why this plan is just silly. Lex Luthor's hate for Superman is also just unjustified. Because of the many side plots, this movie suffered really badly. But the most painful thing in the movie is Martha. I mean, you can love the movie as much as you want. I don't care, but you have to admit this is the most silly thing you have ever seen in a movie. Okay, well, it's an exaggeration, but you get it. It's the most silly thing in this movie, but whatever. The last reason I felt this movie felt hollow is the trailers. I mean, you could make up most of the movie by only using the trailers. Of course this is an exaggeration, but it's ridiculous. Not only did the trailers release so much screen time, but they also released some awesome scenes. Like the fight scene with Batman in the warehouse. Don't judge me, I don't know if that was a warehouse or not. Like, what was the building Batman was fighting in? Like, please, can you guys give me the name of it? But like, as I was saying, that fight scene was amazing. It was just perfect. Like, honestly, when I saw that in the trailers, I was like, oh my god, this Batman is amazing. And how funny is it that Ben Affleck actually pulled off one of the best Batmans? Don't get me wrong, I still love Christian Bale's Batman. But even though this is one of the best Batmans we've had, and you know, I think the reason why he's so good is also because they've made his fighting seem just like the video games. Like, if you've played the Batman video games, it looks exactly like that. Like, this movie perfectly portrays Batman's power and his fighting capabilities. I think it's also just because his suit's so much easier to run around in. Like, I mean, if you've seen the other suits in all the other Batman movies, it's a bit awkward. They're like, it's really funny, they have to like turn around to look the other way. Except for Christopher Nolan's Batman, but still, you get the point. But like, even though this Batman is really, really good and I love him, there's still things that I don't like about him, and I think it's the whole killing thing, and sometimes he uses guns. But anyway, now, I did really enjoy the movie, but at the same time I was very disappointed. But if you guys want to watch a really good Batman vs Superman movie, I would suggest The Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and Part 2. It's an animated movie, but it's absolutely perfect. It's actually inspired the Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice movie. Now, I feel that they should have never come up with this movie. They should have done what Marvel has done, and come out with a standalone movie for each character from the Justice League, and then move on to the Justice League movie. They also need to keep their stories and movies simple, like, don't leave your audience confused. But I do hope DC can come out with some better movies in the future. But that does it for me, guys. I have missed out a few things in this video, but I covered all the parts I felt that really made the movie bad. If there's anything else you guys would like to add, just drop it down in the comment sections. I'll make sure to reply to them. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you already haven't. This has been Zeps, and I'm out.